Hello, everyone, and welcome to the season finale of our first season of the Under Review podcast. I'm your magnificent host, James Jackson, along with Brett Wiseman and a uniquely dressed and charismatic James Wilson. How are
This
my
is
two
season
favorite
one.
podcasts?
Do we have a cliffhanger?
Are we going to have a cliffhanger? I don't know. We're going to find out more. Will James Wilson be back on the show? Will James Jackson continue to host?
Will
Find out.
James Wilson be in jail for abuse of opioids? Stay tuned.
We'll find out. You gotta understand. This man's wild right now.
The answer is yes.
Today's
All right,
episode is brought to you by Narcan.
Why are we like this? Okay, guys.
This podcast.
NFL's back. We saw Chiefs take on the Texans in Thursday night football. I'm just glad football's back because realistically, I didn't see it coming back.
I didn't either.
But we're here.
Shut up.
Well, I didn't
It's coming back.
COVID and stuff. But like
COVID. It's coming back.
it can't.
No, it is back. It is currently, as we speak, back.
But look, the Chiefs they didn't seem to slow down one bit after last season. They still continue to show why they're the best team in the NFL. Andy Reid couldn't see absolutely anything out of that wonderful concoction he had on his face.
The face shield hat.
Dude, I don't even know what you want to call that. That was a whole thing. Looked like he was in a sauna by himself and was just fogging up the whole room. But
Are we gonna just have like Andy Reid branded defrosters now?
I kind of want to do that. Can we get that patented and we'll just take the rights on it? Yeah, we're on. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Call the trademark office right now.
Brett, I know we're going to talk on something that I know you're going to be a little interested in. It's something I wanted to touch on. As we mentioned on your show, The Score with Brett Wiseman on Tobacco Sports Radio. Did I say that right? I hope I said
Tobacco Road Sports
Tobacco
Radio.
Road, yes.
.com.
But you had mentioned Jordan Love getting drafted earlier, and it questioned why the Packers did it. You did, and you were kind of frustrated they didn't get any offensive weapons for Aaron Rodgers. But
For this guy, get this man some help. Goodness.
I want to touch on: do we actually think? Do you want to really build? If you're the Green Bay Packers organization, do you want to build around Aaron Rodgers, who we don't know how many years left he still has in the NFL, or do you want to start fresh, start getting the pieces ready now to kind of build around Jordan Love? I mean, Jordan Love's not, he's not a bad guy to get ready to build the future around either.
No, but I think the organization's mindset was, and I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but it's okay, could lightning strike twice kind of thing. Because Aaron Rodgers was in the exact same situation. He was pretty much Brett Favre's age, or he is pretty much Brett Favre's age when he was drafted behind Brett Favre. So the organization's standpoint, I guess you could say, is, we're going to see if lightning strikes twice. Aaron's going to kind of tutor him a little bit. Brett Favre did not want to do that. Aaron Rodgers has a much different temperament to where I think he's going to be a little bit more nurturing, generous, I guess you could say. Brett Favre was upset from the minute it happened. Not saying Aaron Rodgers wasn't, because he went out publicly and said he started drinking whiskey as soon as the pick went in, as did I. But that being said, to fully answer your question, well, J-Dub figures out how to get his
Aaron Rodgers drafted.
Did you just Google that?
2005.
Pick of the first round in the 2005 NFL Draft.
How old are you?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, J-Dub, Aaron Rodgers is the age that Brett Favre was when Aaron Rodgers was drafted.
Yeah, you're talking about lightning striking. Is one Super Bowl lightning? The Eagles have one Super Bowl, bruh.
Don't remind me.
That ain't lightning. Good job.
But look, like,
Can I
is
finish
Jordan
my
Love
point,
the guy?
please, for the love of God? Can I
Go
finish
ahead,
my
finish,
point?
please.
For sure.
Finish up your TikTok later there, Hoodie Haskins. Anyway, to actually answer your question, JJ, you're talking about arguably one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, right? And you've only got one Super Bowl out of him. Do you not want to use the last 3 or 4 years of his career to your best possible advantage and get him as many weapons as possible so he doesn't just get stuck with one Super Bowl? Because that's what happened to Brett Favre. Brett Favre, if he had the right pieces around him, could have won 3 Super Bowls at the most. Aaron Rodgers, had he had the right pieces around him years before now, could have won 3 by now.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, why can't you go, say, next year, draft a top wide receiver in the first round? Why can't you go and do that?
Because the problem was this year's wide receiver class was the best it's been in like 10, 15 years. That's why everybody was upset.
It's a good
I get where
idea.
you're coming
That's
from,
why
but
the
he's
Cowboys
the
drafted a
guy.
wide receiver, just saying.
Huh?
So the Cowboys drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
I'm glad you brought it up because I want to touch on the Cowboys for a minute.
Me too.
I want to talk about what Skip Bayless did.
Please do.
Kind of putting down Dak Prescott when he had made mention that he was experiencing some anxiety and depression following his brother's death. And Skip was just like, nah, fam, that ain't happening. I'm interested to know y'all's perspective on it. I know that's kind of something you don't really mess with. That ain't something you joke with. So for a professional in his own right to do that, it's very unprofessional and just kind of disgusting, honestly.
Skip Bayless averaged 2.1 points in high school. And senior year, on the junior varsity team. I was the video coordinator my senior year for the basketball team, and I have more win shares. Look it up.
Brett, what are your thoughts on what Skip Bayless did?
How do I put this without violating FCC guidelines? Absolutely awful, heartless, terrible. Every single adjective you can throw out there without me actually swearing on air. I was about as infuriated as one can possibly be by that. As someone who has dealt with things like that, and we're talking about being in an industry where we saw what happened to Kevin Love when he put his out in the public. We saw the backlash that he got. And Skip Bayless's comment is the point that I've always tried to make when professional athletes come out and say, hey, I'm human. I feel these things. Dak Prescott said in his interview, I didn't know what these things were because I never felt them before, because he never acknowledged them is the problem. Professional athletes do not acknowledge these mental health issues. And then you've got Skip Bayless out there saying he's the leader of America's team. It's a weak move to go public with your depression. First of all, not a weak move. Second of all, the dude's brother committed suicide. That contributed to it. So you've already crossed 2 lines. 3,
it's not his place.
The guy is wrong on so many levels, and here he has overstepped a boundary that nobody even comprehended being there. So the bar was already low for this dude. The bar is underground now. He has successfully stomped on the bar. I am sick of this man.
The problem with Skip Bayless is that he thinks his opinion matters. Look up his interview with Mark Cuban after when Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks, won the finals. Mark Cuban says the exact same thing. Is part of the problem with Skip Bayless is that he thinks what he says matters when it doesn't. He's irrelevant. He's an idiot. He's on Fox for a reason, so Shannon can get aneurysms to his retarded comments. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. I mean, that's why they have 2 different personalities on air, just to do that for that exact reason. But I feel like it's not his place to say anything about it. I mean, you're not Dak. You don't get to judge someone based on what they're going through. We're going to move away from sensitive subjects like that to we discussed a little bit James Wilson earlier today, but XFL talent in the NFL. I say, the XFL was a great feeder system to the NFL, and they kind of brought in, or they put on a show with the NFL talent they had. But you seem to think that XFL guys aren't going to make it in the NFL at all. Why do you think that?
Is that a real question?
I mean, you don't think anybody's going to make it?
Yes. Brett, he might not be loaded right. Did he ask me why I think XFL talent will not translate to the NFL?
It's the question I heard.
This is not like the KHL compared to the NHL, right? There are plenty of KHL guys that could compete in the NHL at a high level. KHL and NHL, they're diagonal. The XFL and the NFL are like a ladder. There is not one person in the XFL that would have been a top 75% talent in the NFL.
I can see your argument, but at the same time, some of those guys did make it to the NFL, and some of those guys were draft picks or that were trying to work their way up in the draft stock. So I mean, it kind of works both ways. Guys trying to get back in the league and guys trying to get into the league for the first time. Either way, we've got guys like Dietrich Nichols, who's playing for the Saints this weekend. Cam Phillips and P.J. Walker, both teammates in Carolina. Jordan Ta'amu was waived by the Chiefs, unfortunately. I know Brett's a big St. Louis Battlehawk guy, but
throwing Samoan, baby.
But Jordan was one of the big guys that you kind of thought was going to at least make the roster, and he didn't. So that was kind of a surprise to me, but like P.J. Walker and Cam Phillips are two guys I'm looking to do something. Maybe Cam not so much, or I'm sorry, P.J. not so much, but Cam Phillips I can see doing something,
James, are you in danger?
No.
Is the XFL ownership group behind the camera?
Yes, The Rock is in my house right now as we speak, buddy.
Well, then you got COVID.
But anyways, free James. He's on crazy mode. The answer is no. The answer is no.
That's fine, buddy. If you guys, from just
Here's
the
thing.
listening viewers,
No, you're wrong. If they were going to be in the NFL, if they were good enough to be in the National Football League, they'd be in the National Football League. Here's the thing, buddy. One team can poorly assess your talent. 2 teams can poorly assess your talent. 3 teams can poorly assess your talent. But 32 teams are not going to poorly assess your talent. If 32 franchises said no to you, you suck.
God, son. Okay.
All right then.
I'll
have what you're having.
The Big Four.
James Wilson's on some next level stuff right now. He's on X Games mode. But
I'll have what you're having.
But look, while we're on the topic of the NFL, Brett's favorite broadcaster, Chris Collinsworth. Now here's a guy.
Now here's the guy.
I just want to know your honest opinions on like who's your favorite broadcaster, and who do you think are some of the best broadcasters we got going? And James Wilson, this applies to anything.
In the NFL only, or
no? This applies to anything because I'm going to say Kevin Harlan is one of my favorites.
He's up there.
I absolutely love listening to Kevin Harlan do an NFL or NBA. The dude can just do it all, and his voice is fantastic.
Best broadcasters? What's the question? Can you repeat the question?
Your favorite broadcaster?
Brett Wiseman.
Simp. But
okay, fine.
For real.
Fine. Drew Blevins.
I said for real.
He is a real broadcaster. He counts.
Like in the major sports, major 4.
Big 4? Doris Burke.
Doris Burke's actually really good, and she's one of the best females I've seen do what she does. You know.
Drake also think so.
Just one of the best, period.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
No, she's not one of the best female. She is one of the best minds basketball has had to offer.
No, 100%.
Okay,
agree.
but I'm just saying, don't be like, oh, it's because she's a female. No.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant to say
Okay,
she was like.
okay.
Really
I'm about to
good.
say, like, she's a genius.
Yo, can we just throw in like Alan Bestwick too, Brett? Like
Absolutely.
Alan
Give this
Bestwick,
man some love.
stud, dude. Al Michaels is really good too.
This color guy.
Al Michaels does it though. He really.
This color guy's a dunderhead, but
John Forsland's good. Yeah, I got a couple favorite people. I
well,
like.
here this only applies to national guys, correct? I take it as not apply to regional broadcasters.
I mean, you can throw in regionals, but I prefer national just so everybody knows them.
If you haven't heard Dan McLaughlin of Fox Sports Midwest from the St. Louis Cardinals, do it because he's amazing at what he does. As far as Packers radio guy Wayne Larrivee as well, he's also fantastic.
How about Mark Jackson?
National. I'm talking play-by-play. I'm not talking color guys because that's not my profession.
Profession.
Because I would have to actually have played the sport to do color professionally. Top 5 play-by-play guys nationally right now. Number 1, the king, the GOAT, numero uno, Doc Emmerich.
100%.
Without a doubt. Number 2, Kevin Harlan. Without a doubt. No question. Love him in basketball. Love him in football. Number 3, this might surprise you. It's not going to surprise you. 5 might. John Forsland is at 3, but mainly for the stuff he does with NBC. Number 4, this will surprise you. Kenny Albert. Only because of his versatility. Because he can do hockey very, very well for NBC, and he can do football, baseball, and at times college basketball for Fox. He can do all 4 of them. That takes a lot of versatility, and it takes a lot of talent to do what he does. And his dad's also one of the greatest basketball announcers of all time, Marv Albert. Number 5, coming in at 5, without a doubt, Joe Buck.
This segment sucks.
See, Joe Buck would have been the best for me, or not the best, but he would have been top 3 for me. Joe Buck.
It's like 5 and 5A are Joe Buck and Jim Nantz for me.
Jim Nantz isn't that bad.
Jim Nantz is awesome. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's go to NHL hockey. The Philadelphia Flyers got eliminated. The Colorado Avalanche got eliminated. It's now Dallas versus Vegas and Tampa versus the Islanders. Who do you guys have winning, and what is your finals looking like right now?
Well, I've got Dallas is up 3-1 now. I've got Dallas taking it in Game 6. I've got a Dallas-Tampa final. And I'm going to take Tampa in 7.
I can agree with that. I can agree with Tampa taking it all this year. Well, Mr. Wilson, you're vomiting. Tell us who you got.
Dallas in 4.
Dallas in 4. Look.
Can you write that on your piece of paper so everybody can see it?
Can you make it in writing so we have it for everybody to know in the future? But, well, look, Tampa is like, they're lethal, man. And I don't want to count out the Islanders too soon because I didn't expect the Islanders to make it this far in the first place. But I don't see anybody stopping Tampa. And Dallas is good right now, but Tampa's who my pick is, man.
I gotta agree with you there. And now, at the time of this recording, the Isles are up 2-1 in the series. So,
ooh, fancy.
Excuse me, no, they made it 2-1. Sorry, yeah, Tampa was up 2-0. Oh, there's the flying uterus.
It's a uterus.
Hey, for those only listening to the audio, James Wilson pulled up the old Dallas Stars logo.
The flying uterus.
But
audio only? Cringe.
Says the man who didn't even want to do video like 10 minutes ago.
That's because I'm in the babushka outfit.
Hey, J-Dub, how are your Russian cats doing over there?
Very good.
All right.
I'm taking
I
care
know
of what
nothing,
cats
and I'm
do.
just going to be honest. I know absolutely nothing about basketball. So I'm
Yes,
going to throw it to James Wilson.
That's honest.
I'm going to throw it to my boy James Wilson. James Wilson, give us a rundown, bro. What you got going on for the NBA?
Okay, as we speak, the Clippers are playing the Nuggets. Let's see how that went. This is so good podcast. The Clippers lost. Whoa! Cringe. No. Okay.
Clippers actually won.
The Lakers are up 3-1 to the Houston Rockets.
That's over.
Today lost Daniel House. I always got fucked up by his name. Because Daniel House had a little lady friend in the bubble.
Yeah, who posed as a COVID tester.
Especially when Daniel House is the closest thing to a center Houston's had since, I don't know, Hakeem Olajuwon?
Joel Osteen.
Nice. Good meme. Good joke. No, seriously, though. Houston, what's the deal? Why would you guys let that kind of crap happen? I know Mike D'Antoni thinks he's a drill sergeant. Act like one. That kind of behavior is just, bro, what is this, middle school?
The best part was she was disguised as a COVID tester.
Yeah.
What? Hold up. I didn't hear this story. So
She
what
was
happened?
disguised as an independent or a league sent coronavirus tester and entered his room to test him for coronavirus and apparently a lot of other things.
That's not the only thing. Okay. Oh, you beat me to it. Currently, the Celtics are leading 7 points over the Raptors. We've got.
We're recording this on Friday, just so everybody knows when you're listening to this.
This game will be over at the time of that this is available for you to watch.
100%. But
or listen to.
Who cares, baby?
so James, who do you have actually winning the finals, bud?
Are you for real right now?
Yeah, I don't. Who you got going, bro?
I'll tell you, them Clippers. There ain't no good Clippers in this house. The Los Angeles Great Clips ain't winning against the Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Mamba, Lakers. All right? I'll tell you why. They just lost to Denver. All right? I'll tell you one thing. After the first game, because LeBron James apparently he's about as good in the NBA as me in game one. I'll tell you, them Lakers ain't losing to no Denver chicken nuggets. I'll tell you that. Like seriously, here. Let me get serious. If the Lakers take more than 6 games to beat the Clippers, I will shave my head.
Ooh.
I love that you guys think I'm serious. I don't care if the Clippers sweep the Lakers. I am not shaving my head. That was a joke. Serious? No, I'm serious. I don't want to hear crap about Lakers don't have depth. What are you talking about? The Lakers bench has been more than enough since they've got into the bubble. The Lakers don't have as much depth. Shut up. Sure, they don't have the 18,000-time 6th Man of the Year winner on their team like Sweet Lou. But they've got a dang good roster. It's fine. It's good enough. And
They have white chocolate 2.0. His name is Alex Caruso.
Right. Former Aggie, by the way. But
Yes, sir.
seriously,
Undrafted.
it's crap. And guess what? Pandemic P is still playing like crap. I do not see the Lakers
What?
having any struggles with the Los Angeles Clippers. And guess what? I'll tell you another thing. The only team that even stood a chance in the East to beat the Lakers were the Milwaukee Bucks. They're done. Now the next best team is Miami. You think Miami's going to beat the Los Angeles Lakers?
100%.
No. Miami's a been there, done that thing with LeBron. If Miami was the God Squad, he'd still be there. I know he likes beaches.
No,
And
he just That's the thing. He decides who the God Squad is and who isn't.
Yeah.
Because he's on whatever the God Squad is.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. I kind of want to touch on that a little bit.
Except
like,
for Golden State.
Like, bruh. Yeah, why didn't he just go to Golden State too? Just like finish off. Just go to that super team, bruh.
Because he's not going to take a pay cut.
Nope.
Right. You're right.
Which, if I were him, I would not either.
Mm-mm.
Because guess what?
It's LeBron James.
Michael Jordan.
Well,
No. Michael Jordan has 6 titles. But guess what? Michael Jordan made about the same amount of money in his whole career as LeBron James makes in like 1 year.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? Money's really nice. Okay?
You know what's better? Championships.
Ships, baby.
Do championships pay the electric bill?
You can sell your championship ring and they do.
Yeah, but that's a one-time deal.
It does when you become a branding genius and end up making more money by selling shoes than you did from actually playing basketball.
Yeah, LeBron James is going to do that with Sprite Cranberry, Brett.
You know, I want to know, James Wilson, your thoughts on who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan, but I guess you just kind of touched on it. That's LeBron,
He
huh?
just did.
Yeah, he just kind of...
Is the greatest
but
champion in sports. Second only to no one. You know who's next? You know who's number 2?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's the greatest.
Because guess what? Tom Brady has this one problem. He's not 100% in his respective championship. And he can never change that, you know?
Neither is LeBron.
Michael Jordan is, though. Michael Jordan is the greatest
Correct.
champion. The greatest overall basketball player is LeBron. I really get sick of this argument. LeBron has never punched his teammates in the face.
He's
LeBron
never
has,
been poisoned with pizza.
LeBron has never single-handedly wrecked a franchise that he had financial stake in. He only does that to teams that are playing against him. LeBron James is a better person. So
LeBron James never picked Kwame Brown number 1 overall. LeBron James can actually evaluate talent.
LeBron James is not going to ban me from Spectrum Center after seeing this video. So
Yeah, because you're not wearing a purple shirt and yelling at Dwayne Wade.
I yell at Dwayne Wade daily.
Yeah, you're not wearing a purple shirt, so it's not your fault.
No, it's pink today.
Purple shirt guy is banned from Spectrum Center.
Look, James Wilson, you're a big James and Brett. You guys are both big Charlotte Hornets fans, but
Yes, sir! Yeah!
look. I have 2 questions. Number 1, based that we were just talking on Michael Jordan. How do you actually feel MJ is running the Hornets? Do you actually think he's running well?
Into the ground.
Bad!
Directly
Fire.
into the ground.
He sucks!
Directly into the ground.
Oh, my man's dropped it. Frank Kaminsky. Dude. He
Over
said
Donovan Mitchell.
Yes! Yeah! He said no to Devin Booker. He said no to Donovan Mitchell. Who has he else said no to? I'm getting sick of this, man. He sucks in the draft.
Watch him say no to LaMelo Ball, too.
Let's look back at draft history, shall we? And you'll see why Michael Jordan is the greatest champion of all time and the worst evaluator of talent in the history of professional sports. When he took over that stake in the Washington Wizards and therefore had semi-GM duties, his pull was, hey, let's take Kwame Brown number 1 overall. You saw how that worked out. Then he joins the Bobcats organization. Guess who his first draft pick is as president of basketball operations?
Anthony Bennett.
Adam Morrison.
Hey, Adam Morrison, low-key, they'll go, no.
Mustache Morrison, number 4 overall. At the time, seemed like a good pick. In the end, it did not age well. Guess who else he's picked? Let's see. Sean May, whose knees were made of glass and paper. Let's see. Not only did he draft Kwame Brown, number 1 overall with the Wizards, he traded for him to Charlotte. And he traded DJ Augustine for him.
Brad, are you
Moving on. No, I'm not done. Keep in mind, Devin Booker was in this draft. You know who he picked? Noah Vonleh. The following year, Donovan Mitchell's on the board. We go with crack-smoking Malik Monk. You pass up elite player after elite player for, let's see, injury-prone guys with milk mustaches that end up winning a ring riding the pine for the Lakers in a trade. The only good move that man ever made was to trade Emeka Okafor for Tyson Chandler, and they get swept by the Magic.
Okay, so do you actually see the Hornets doing something with this pick, or do you see them with it?
Yes, I see it. I see James Wiseman, because that's a bigger need than LaMelo Ball right now. I think. James, will you agree with me here and say that the Hornets are most certainly guard heavy as a whole? They lack size. They lack a skilled wing forward.
Yeah.
Because the one that was supposed to be said winged forward is too busy partaking in illegal substances.
Hey, bruh, the Hornets are drafting the best player on the board. They've said it. They should have done it, even if they didn't say it. Their best player is the point guard. If the best player on the board is the point guard, they're drafting a point guard. It doesn't matter. They're drafting the best player on the board and making it work after the fact. Because guess what? The Hornets are tired of fear of missing out. They don't want to be this. They don't want this to be another year. They don't want to wonder about what could have been. And by trying to draft the best fit, that's going to have what could have been. Hey, guess what? You know who the Hornets drafted just 2 years ago? Before trading for him for the very next pick? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. How's he doing? Very, very good. So the Hornets are the kings of fear of missing out, or what could have been. By the way, they drafted Kobe. Okay, they're drafting the best player on the board, whoever that is. Whether it be Wiseman, Ball, Anthony Edwards, Denny Abdia, and if you say any other name, you probably don't watch basketball.
All right, guys. Realistically, I'm expecting the Hornets to actually to remodel everything. I mean, you got the new unis, you got the new court, you got the third pick. You're starting over, basically.
And that's a team that I don't think you start over at this point, because you just kind of build on what you've got already, J-Dub, and you can back me up on this if you so choose. Yeah, the branding aspect of things is cool, but when the Hornets lost Kemba going into 1920, the Vegas over-under was 15 wins. Had the season continued, they would have won on pace for 31 games and finished 10th in the Eastern Conference. They passed the Wizards in the standings and weren't even invited to the bubble. They were 2.5 games away from being invited to the bubble. This is a team that majorly overachieved last season, mostly thanks to the heroics of Devontae Graham, who should have been the NBA's most improved player, but he was not for some unknown reason. You've got a great young core. You've got Devontae Graham. You've got Miles Bridges. You've got P.J. Washington, who was not expected to do nearly as much as he did last year. And then you've got the veteran and Cody Zeller. You've got pieces to build around, guys like Dwayne Bacon that can come off the bench and score solid points. You've got a great young core to build around. I think you just keep building off of that, because you majorly over exceeded last season.
James Wilson, are you okay, buddy?
Yes, was so named after you. What? The heroics of who? James Borrego is the reason they won those games. Drink your water. Drink your water. The coaching by James Borrego is the reason they won all those games. The reason they exceeded all those expectations. Devontae Graham was the only person that was performing ahead of expectations. It was the whole roster. I mean, bruh, are you serious?
Good point.
Tell me it happened.
No, I think you just finished my point for me.
I think you woke a beast in James Wilson, buddy.
Yeah.
Before we get him wild up here, let's talk about some NASCAR, bud. Yes, sir. So
43. Well, I mean,
43.
never mind. Never more. Never. Just.
Yeah, nevermore. We're gonna touch on that here as Bubba Wallace is leaving Richard Petty Motorsports. I threw out earlier.
Let's go 24 team. Yes, sir.
Look, so I think Bubba.
Diarrhea.
I still think Bubba could go to Chip Ganassi Racing, being that he's got the sponsorship with McDonald's and Coca-Cola, which Chip Ganassi also has. But I'm thinking. You guys saw the tweet by Adam Stern, right? That said Denny Hamlin was looking to purchase Richard Petty Motorsports, and could possibly hire Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace. That's a whole nother situation that's all confusing to me. But I still see Bubba going to the 42 car. Suarez could possibly take over the 43. And Eric Jones to the 96 would be a reasonable thing. Keep him with the Toyota manufacturers. You know, it's something he's always driven in his whole career, so why not just keep him there? But we have Richmond today, or tonight, when this, comes out tomorrow on Sunday. Who do you guys seeing maybe making a splash and kind of ruining the playoffs for someone? Who do you think kind of wild card factor, if you will?
J-Dub, you go ahead first.
Brad Keselowski.
That's not really a wild card, though. Is it, though? Like, can you?
Is.
Yeah.
He's not in most people's final four when I think he's going to finish second.
You think he's going to finish second?
Fine, Kyle Busch.
No. See, like, Matt DiBenedetto would be a wild card.
Here's a wild card. Austin Dillon.
Why do you say that?
And here's why. Not just because he had the fluke, as you said, JJ, good run last week at Darlington. They've been slowly building momentum since the win came at Texas going into these playoffs. This is a race team that's got a lot of confidence right now, a driver that's got a lot of confidence. Think about guys like DiBenedetto and Byron, too. They've got a lot of confidence going into this. And those three guys historically have very good finishes at Richmond. But everybody is going to be chasing after Denny Hamlin because he absolutely, unequivocally owns Richmond International Raceway. Everybody's going to be chasing that 11 FedEx Toyota. But I would put money on Dillon, DiBenedetto, or Byron as one of those three wild cards. One of those three guys kind of at the bottom of the playoff standings right now that had to really scratch and claw to get their way in, and they've been building confidence up until this point, getting victories and getting top fives and top tens.
Hamlin is going to win at Richmond. No one's beating Hamlin. Here's the problem. Hamlin is not just going to win at Richmond because he's from Richmond, which, by the way, he's from Richmond. Hamlin is also doing really good this year. He's amazing this year. He's one of my favorites. I believe I can count on two fingers. I can guess who's going to win the championship, Harvick or Hamlin. And I believe Hamlin's going to lock himself in. He doesn't want to worry about this next race. He wants to move on. He wants to chill pill. He's going to the next round, baby.
Look, and Denny Hamlin's been the guy who's made the championship race at Homestead multiple times. He's had the opportunity to win it multiple times. However, championship's not at Homestead anymore. It's in Phoenix, a track that Denny and Kevin Harvick are both really good at. So when in terms of can Denny Hamlin actually seal the deal, I can see your argument for saying yes, he can, being that it's Phoenix. If it was like Homestead, I'd be like, yeah, maybe not. But being that it's Phoenix, I can see your argument there.
I think let's say Hamlin and Harvick, and who cares who else? Considering how fast Harvick's car has been, almost so fast it looks illegal. Like, as if he's not competing by the same rules. Like, look at him at Dover, bruh. That was insane. His win at Dover. We'll know if Harvick's going to win the race and therefore the championship 15 laps in. Because he'll have lapped the pack 3 times. That 4 car that's a Formula 1 car, bro. That car is insanely fast.
Wait, so what? That's a Formula 1 car. Why is the Haas Formula 1 car not succeeding in F1, but they're succeeding in NASCAR?
They're trying their best. No, but I'm serious. That 4 car is, bro. That car is fast. I wish I could drive that to work.
All right, guys. On that note, I think we're going to end this season and we're going to end this episode. All right, guys? Any final shout-outs?
I would like to give a huge shout-out to the National Football League for getting their season going and to the App State Football Video Department for the greatest uniform video reveal in the history of college football, with wide receiver Thomas Hennigan literally coming up out of the New River to unveil App State's new uniforms for the game against UNC Charlotte, which will be completed by the time this airs.
Yes, sir. James Wilson.
I would like to give my shout out to Desmond Johnson for giving my good friend Brett a chance. It's his first job out of college. I'm so incredibly proud of Brett. He's got a real show. It's a real thing. He's strutting his stuff, and it's awesome. I'm so happy that the 3 of us get to be on it. I'm so proud of Brett. I'm so proud of Desmond, and I can't wait to see what this network becomes.
We're proud of JJ, too. Don't forget.
Yes, sir. Hey, Brett, you want to plug that real quick before we sign off?
Yes, if you'd like more sports talk that's a little more serious than this, but still has plenty of J-Dub's personality and JJ's extensive knowledge of various different things, please tune in Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 Central, whatever time zone you're in. I don't know, noon Mountain, 9 Pacific, 7 Hawaiian. 2 p.m. Saturdays, Tobacco Road Sports Radio. That's tobaccoroadsportsradio.com.
Yes.
I love the way he says it.
Yeah, doesn't he? It says it
Tobacco Road Sports Radio.com.
All right, guys. For the final time this season, I've been your host, James Jackson. For Brett Wiseman, James Wilson.
Wait, James, you've been the host?
Yes, I've been the host, bro. I've literally said it every episode that I am your host.
I thought this was my show.
You did a terrible job.
Is this my show?
Well, while James Wilson and I decide who the host is, we'll see you guys next time.